Hi there, my name is Lauren Heistad. I am author to the book Homecoming, and I'm starting the process of reading my story. My story is about what I call my biblical entanglement, and in reading it, I'm honoring a promise to myself to speak my truth, even if it's just for me. I also made a promise to myself that life is way too short to do a bunch of takes and edits just to get this right. So you're dealing with the raw version. If we have to repeat things, stop to cry a little, hit pause because somebody's coming to the store, then so be it. We will work around that. It just is what it is, hey? Okay, so thank you for joining me and giving me the opportunity to tell you my story so far. Okay. Chapter 1, When Time Stands Still. Alright. Have you ever had one of those moments when time stands still? When the workings of your mind seem to defy time and space, and you are able to connect with a loved one from a distance? Me too. This phenomenon has always existed. There are many documented cases where divine timing is at work, whether it is a déjà vu, a knowing, a premonition, or an overwhelming urge to phone a loved one in need. Many refer to these synchronistic moments in life as coincidences or divine intervention. However, these synchronicities are a much, much deeper connection to being one with God. These time warps are a glimpse into the sheer magnitude of our lives and our infinite connection to each other. I have been blessed. I have been blessed with many, many synchronicities in my life, whether I understood them all at the time or not. Oftentimes, my moments of clarity did not occur until years after the fact, as I started to piece together the workings of my soul. There have always also been a few life-defining moments that opened my eyes wide, very wide, to the universal connection within us all. Moments that instantly confirmed there is a greater force at work and left me yearning for more. My greatest spiritual awakening moment so far occurred when I was in my early 20s. And to give you context, I guess, I am 52 right now. To this day, I cannot remember what happened before or after the event, but I assure you, it was average, standard issue, young and carefree stuff. I was living away from a home for the first time, enjoying my newfound freedoms, my new job at a university, and my active social life. Very. I was not involved in any spiritual pursuits or religious growth at all. Life was good, and I was simply enjoying the ride. Yes, indeed. And then it happened. One night, in the middle of a peaceful sleep, I was gently awakened by an angel. A very real, loving, and calming spiritual being sent to me by God with a specific yet gentle message. Lauren, your mom has just gone into cardiac arrest. Wake up and pray for her. Send her healing energies. Let her know that she is loved and needed. And that night, without question, who this being was or why my healthy young mom would be in danger at all, or if I could even make a difference, I prayed. I prayed with all my heart and soul. I sent love, light, and healing energies to my mom. I cried and asked her to stay. In my mind's eye, I saw an emergency room where my mom was at the center of attention as she lay in peaceful distress, her heart flatlining. And all of this I did from 100 kilometers away. I continued to pray for my mom and sent her healing energies, which was certainly new terminology and experiences for me at the time, by the way. And then the angel spoke again. Your mom is okay now. Go back to sleep. And again, I did so without question. I peacefully laid back, closed my eyes, and instantly dozed off. Not for 1 minute, not even 1 minute, did I question what had happened. It was a magical moment, and I actually felt very blessed. Until the morning came, that is. When I woke up, I started to doubt myself about what had occurred in the night before. And I was even embarrassed. I was embarrassed by my reaction and what clearly must have been an overactive imagination. Why would I even think my mom would be in distress? And then the bigger question, who was I to think a messenger of God would ask me to pray and help to heal someone's health? Sure, I was young and full of zest and confidence at the time, but help to heal another individual? Who the hell did I think I was? Good question. This thought process went on for about an hour. Then there was that clarifying moment that changed my life forever. Forever. My dad called. Everything is okay, he said. But last night, your mom went into cardiac arrest. It was a code blue, and then she was resuscitated. The doctors have her stabilized now, and she's doing fine. Fast forward nearly 20 years. Sorry, I just got the visual of those comic strips. 20 years later. Except for it wasn't really funny. 20 years later, as eye-opening, miraculous, and blessed as that event may have been, I spent my earlier years moving on, pretending like that night never happened. I blocked out further contact and mystical experiences from the other side. I pursued different interests that were more mainstream to society and that would not subject myself or my family to judgment or ridicule. However, despite my best efforts to bury the event in the past, these experiences continued to happen, one after the other, until it came to the point I could no longer ignore any of my spiritual encounters after years of denial. Literally years of denial. I finally started to acknowledge my truths and work to fully understand what had transpired that magical night. The baseline for my entire SOULworks will always be that one miraculous moment with my mom. The events surrounding that night will always be etched in my heart. And looking back now, what I found to be most liberating about the experience was the realization that while submerged in the actual event, in that moment of time, I just jumped in with both feet and never, ever questioned the power from within. On the other hand, once my mind had the chance to digest what had happened, my inner light began to dim and was replaced with self-doubt and questions and disbelief. I started to dismiss my truths and went back to the old clouded way of thinking. Why do we do that? Why do we as a society so often dismiss the unknown? Why do we lack confidence in our abilities? I have spent my entire life, trying to get back to the inner peace and strength I felt that night, to feel confident in myself and my God-given abilities and potential. It has been one heck of a long journey. The path to our soul works is not always an easy one. Okay, activating your soul works. Within every chapter, I have a segment that has more to do with just looking over the experience or the story and giving any kind of teachings or understandings I gathered from it. Okay. When I look back over the events of that miraculous night, I still can't even completely explain why I stayed quiet about my experiences for so long. I was visited by an angel, clearly shown accurate details of a situation transpiring kilometers away. I was asked to help. I was asked to help by sending healing energies, and was even given confirmation within hours, literally hours of the occurrence. And yet there was still a larger part of me doubtful. A larger part too scared to admit what had taken place. It would not be until years later that I felt brave enough and armed with enough information and experiences to speak my truth. Proof in point. Proof in point. That reality makes me sad. A little angry, but mostly sad. Can you imagine how different our world would be if everyone was open and honest about spiritual encounters? Imagine how peaceful and serene our existence could be if we learned to listen to our spirit guides and always respond when asked. Picture how blessed our reality would be if we only opened our hearts and minds to the unknown. How miraculous our existence if we believed in miracles today as much as those who walked the earth before us. Suppose nobody criticized each other for speaking their truth. And imagine the power of faith. Just imagine. And perhaps it's just me. Maybe I'm the only one out there who has been too scared to speak up and discuss topics our world is so quick to dismiss. Perhaps I'm the only one who awkwardly stands in the New Age section, seeking answers, and desperately hoping nobody I know walks by. Unfortunately, I don't think that's the case. The term New Age has been defined as a broad movement of alternative approaches to traditional culture, with an interest in spiritualism, mysticism, the paranormal, and oneness. Sure, it sounds scary at first. It feels scary at first. But I've grown to love the New Age movement and have personally found it very uplifting. In fact, upon closer inspection, the New Age movement is not really so new at all. There are many cultures around the world that have practiced spiritual growth, enlightenment, healing, energy work, channeling of messages, and divinely inspired prophecies since the beginning of time. Personally, I started the New Age movement scared and alone, and feeling like it was a dimly lit road, forbidden and evil. Evil. I thought it was evil. However, once I faced my fear and delved into the unknown, I found it to be liberating and full of enlightenment, beauty, and truth, and some very amazing, nice people. Although this road may still be less traveled, I suggest the path has always been there. Some of us may have just forgotten the way. Okay, your move. Within every chapter in my book, I have a Your Move section, which is my request for people to start expanding their mind further. Which brings me to number 1, expand your mind. Have you ever visited the New Age section of a bookstore lately? You probably have, because this book successfully crossed your path. So first off, give yourself a pat on the back for striving to enhance your spiritual awareness. I encourage you to keep an open mind while reading my experiences, because there's lots of them. And then challenge yourself to further expand your own awareness to the unknown. The demand and thirst for the spiritual and New Age materials have literally burst onto the scene in the last 20 years. They have burst onto the scene. When I first encountered the spirit world, there was little to no resources on the subject matter. Well, besides traditional views, I guess. At the time, if you found a handful of books, you would consider yourself lucky. I have watched this section grow over time, from one row of shelves to numerous. Our society craves this information, and the demand is evident. People are looking for answers. They're looking for answers, and rightfully so. They desire to increase their awareness. From my perspective, for whatever that counts, seeking answers that resonate with your soul is always a good thing. Always. In fact, it is time to leave narrow-minded ways of thinking behind. It's time to embrace the future and the spiritual age of evolution. The spiritual age of evolution. I think I said Eve. That's encouraging, isn't it? Number 2. Appreciate moments with the divine. Oh, yes. For myself, I don't actually even remember thanking the angel for including me along with that journey of that one miraculous night with my mom. Please learn to always show gratitude for your connection to spirit, no matter what the size of the encounter. Acknowledge you are not alone in this world and appreciate those glimpses of heaven on earth that occur every day. The setting of the sun, birds singing in the trees, even moments you feel vulnerable and alone. Every breath of every day, you are one with spirit. Number 3, speak your truth. Stand up for your beliefs. Express your spiritual experiences. Do not be afraid to demonstrate your faith to this world. This has become a lost art. It has. The world has focused all of our efforts on arguing which religion bears the strongest truth. And in this, we have forgotten the most important part. The best spiritual practice for any one person is the practice that brings them closer to spirit. This can be done anywhere. The important part is to express your faith in the spirit world, believe in the unknown, understand your connection with the divine, and speak your truth. And lastly, share your energy. Divine energy is always abundant and free-flowing. It resides in and around you infinitely at a soul level. Utilize your free will to tap into and use this life force whenever you feel guided. Send energetic hugs to those who need your help. Envision the light of the world filling your life, past, present, and future. Blessing you and all those who cross your path. Share the energy you have freely, for there is always more. Imagine yourself and all others become lighter and lighter with the divine vibrational energy. Believe in your efforts and that they're making a difference, because they truly are. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to share my story.